it's Rel Klein. You're watching another movie of the week, and the movie of this week was Equals from 2015, so you haven't watched it, watch it now. If you're new to movie of the week, as I talk about a movie here, you guys comment below your thoughts, and at the end of the video I'll say the movie for next week. And this year we're doing the alphabet, so this is our E-movie Equals. So this is dystopian sci-fi in the future. I feel like we haven't done that many sci-fi dystopian movies, so it's good we're doing here. And this is definitely at the tail end, or like in the time when there was like all those like sci-fi dystopian things like Hunger Games, Divergent, Maze Runner. I think The Giver is part of that, and I'll talk about The Giver in comparison to this. So it was definitely like at that time where that was like really prevalent. I think this is again like towards the tail end of it, 2015, I feel like. I think that was like a big thing when I was a teenager. Well, I guess I was a teenager at 15. I don't know what I'm saying. But anyway, so I think it's good that we're doing a sci-fi film here, and I wanted to compare it to The Giver because it was kind of, they're both set in worlds where people don't like, I think in the like people suppress emotions. I think this was definitely much more than The Giver, and like in The Giver he was like getting the memories and getting the feelings, when in this world I think, and especially like that world, they were like laughing, having fun, a little bit like friendship, like having, I guess they didn't have the memories. Is that what it is? But they still had somewhat emotions. It's just some similarities. In this, they're basically like kind of robotic, where they like, I guess it's like set in the future where maybe like emotions just like overtook everything, and so they purposely like do this thing to people so that they don't have emotions, and they just like are, yeah, they're kind of robotic. And like, but obviously it's not a perfect science. Like that's the whole thing, is that they get these, what was it called? It was like SOS, which is kind of funny. SOS, save our ship. Right? It was SOS, right? It was something about like some something syndrome. But basically when people started to like feel emotions, and then it was also like there's different levels, like it just starts very low. So it's basically about, you know, I mean, it's a little bit Nicholas's whole, if that's his name, a little bit more than Kristen Stewart. I mean, it was the two of them, but you know, it's a little bit more from his perspective, about people like starting to get emotions, and like, you know, to them, like they feel, and you hear that in the support group too, like they feel so lonely and stuff because like they're like, it suppresses, and like you want, and it's like the human connection. And I think like this, and this is really who we are, and I think like as a society, like this is who we are. We crave humans, we crave like being with people, touch, all the stuff, and that doesn't necessarily is a problem. That's just like what being human is. And I think it's especially lonely for them because they're not understanding it. There's not that many other people that feel this way. They can't, only they could do it with each other. They can't have this emotions for each other. So like if everyone had emotions, I don't know if they would be together, you know, anything. Of course she ends up pregnant. It was a little bit of like a Romeo Juliet thing where like he thought she died, so then he was like, I'm gonna take this thing, but then, and almost killed himself too, but she didn't die. And so I think it's, I feel like a lot of times, well, okay, so I think I've talked about this before in the past, but one time in college, or what I mean, in college, I took a class called History of the Future, and basically we learned, like we were studying different periods in history and what at that time they thought the future was going to be like, because that just really shows you a lot about that time in history. So basically, since this was at the time of the dystopian movies, I think it's kind of like the, like a fear of like a lot of those movies were like, what will society look like in the future? Like, will we be split up into districts where there's like kids killing each other every year? Will we be split up into different fractions where it's like, this is your role, this is what you are? Or in the future, will it be like, you just have to do these things, you don't have emotions, this is your life, whatever. Like it's that's very telling. Like, you know, it's like, I think at that time we were very curious about like what our future, like how society will be in the future. I feel like we don't have that many I feel like the futuristic movies now are about like robots and AIs, which I freaking hate. I hate robots. AI is the first step, guys. I'm so scared. I hate technology. I want to live on a farm somewhere. So I think I love sci-fi movies, especially in this time period. I keep saying the ones that came out. I just think they're so great. I think there's something you can learn from it. I think the coloring of this movie and the directing of the movie was also really well done and just really interesting in that aspect. So I think it's also an underrated movie that people don't know about. And it has, two plus more, but two really great actors of our time. And yeah, a lot of people don't know about this movie, so I'm glad people are watching this movie and everything. And I'm gonna end it here. So, comment below your thoughts. And the movie we're doing for next week is Funeral Kings from 2012. So comment below your thoughts about Equals and watch Funeral Kings. That's our F movie for next week. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I cannot speak, and bye.